rush. Oh, Matt. Love these COVID things. One point after life is a big deal.
That's true. That is true.
Test, oh, there you go. Test.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Boys JV Varsity Swim Meet. Tonight, the Forsyth Rangers are hosting the Woodbury Royals. Coaches for the Woodbury Royals are Connor Ross and Maya Valentine. Diving coach for the Royals. Diving coach for the Royals is Patty Aiken. Captains for the Woodbury Royals are Luke Munzer, Logan Anderson, and Andy Jane. Coaches for the Forsyth Rangers are Dominic Manzini and Kevin Wilson. The Rangers dive coach is Deb Lush. Captains for the Rangers are Logan Rachel, Maximilian True, Levi Roski, and Bobby Jankowski. Team managers for the Rangers are Maddie Fagerland, Johanna Livermore, and Lauren Henry. Officials for tonight's meet are Chuck Listab and Mike Simon. Tonight's swim meet is between the visiting Woodbury Royals and the Forsyth Rangers, who are both proud members of the Minnesota State High School League. This meet is a competitive and educational experience for all players and students. We ask that you continue to show your respect and sportsmanship throughout this meet. We also want to welcome our guests from Woodbury and wish all swimmers good luck in tonight's meet. And now please rise and face the flag as the national anthem is played.
right, welcome to tonight's JV varsity swim meet against the Woodbury Royals, Forest Lake Rangers against the Woodbury Royals. Our first event up here is going to be the 200-yard medley relay junior varsity. And so we've got swimmers in lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4. We haven't had a home meet in a while, so we're back at this tonight. And if you have been paying attention to the COVID rules again this year, lanes 1, 2, and 3 are all Woodbury, 4, 5, and 6 will all be Forest Lake this year. All right, swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Aaron's, Noah, Logan, and Nathaniel. In lane 2, we have Nahom, Ben, Sasha, and Brandon. And in lane 3, we have Adrian, Colin, Stephen, and Will. For the Rangers in lane 4, we've got Robert, Eric, Thatcher, and Gus. So we've got some Woodbury Royals right out in the front there, but the Forest Lake Rangers, Robert, is right there with him. Remember, when you're watching a medley relay, you are watching, they start with backstroke, back breast, fly, and then free, and each kid does a 50 yards, so down and back of the pool. So welcome again to tonight's JV varsity last dual meet of the season for these teams, and it's our last home meet here in Forest Lake. Welcome to all the grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone near and far as you watch this live stream with Lakes Area TV in Forest Lake. We're excited to see you this evening and have you be part of the team. So hopefully you're ready to cheer on your favorite athlete as we finish out this season and finish it strong. So we got Woodbury out here in first on this butterfly leg. But Forest Lake really close behind. And then in fourth and fifth place, or third and fourth place, we really have a competition too between the two relay teams from the Woodbury team. So the Woodbury team in lane 3 is going to easily take first place here as they're coming into the wall and finish with a time of 2:02.52. That relay team of Adrian, Colin, Stephen, and Will from Woodbury. And then the Ranger team of Robert, Eric, Thatcher, and Gus come in second with a time of 2:13.61. And they're real duking it out here between lanes 1 and 2. And lane 2, the relay team of Nahom, Ben, Sasha, and Brandon come in third with a time of 2:27.79. And fourth is the team of Aaron's, Noah, Logan, and Nathaniel from Woodbury with a time of 2:28.89. Our next event up will be the varsity heat of the 200-yard medley relay.
Our next event will be the varsity 200-yard medley relay. Start, please.
We have relay teams in lanes 1, 2, 3 from Woodbury, 4, and 5 from the Rangers. All right, swimming in lane 1 for Woodbury, we have Jacob, Raymond, Derek, and Aiden. For lane 2 for Woodbury, we have Andy, Ethan, Andrew, and Ian. Lane 3, Isaac, Logan, Alex, and Gunnar. For the Rangers in lane 1, we have Logan, Max, Riley, and Levi. And for the Rangers in lane 5, Sam, Ryan, Brady, and Riley. So tonight's the last meet of the season for these guys. And so the last dual meet of the season, they'll go into sections next week. And talking to both coaches, the So there's a couple of JV kids that you'll see tonight that they're swimming their last race. They're tapered because this year there's no JV conference champs, which is kind of a bummer for the teams with the younger kids. But just due to some COVID regulations, they decided against those meets. And so, but you'll see some kids have been, they're kind of in the middle of their taper, and some of them are fully tapered. So you should see some good races from some of the young guys tonight, hopefully. Woodbury's out here in first place, but Rangers are not far behind in lane 4 there. Riley's trying to keep up there. Gunner from Woodbury, though, nice start off the block and coming into the wall here, but we're going to see if Levi can catch him here. And Levi's got to hold off lane 2. So Woodbury in lane 3 finishes first there with a time of 1:47.12. The Rangers in second with a time of 1:51.10. And in lane 2 for the Woodbury Royals, the 1:52.56 is in third place. Lane 5 for the Rangers is in fourth place with 1:59.59. And then lane 1 for Woodbury with a time of 2:04.94 in fifth place. Some nice swims from the guys there. And so you'll see we've got a pretty good, full lineup tonight. And so diving took place earlier. We'll get those scores when we get to the diving break. But our next event up is the boys 200-yard freestyle junior varsity. And there are swimmers from Woodbury in lane 1, 2, and 3. So it sounds like Woodbury's got a pretty big team, almost kind of double what the Rangers are. So they've got a lot of swimmers tonight and a lot of potential. So that's fun to watch, swimming all around. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, Logan, lane 2, John, and in lane 3, Colin. And so remember, a 200 freestyle here is 8 lengths of the pool. Freestyle, what some of you have known as in swimming lessons when you're a kid and whatever you learn, it's called a front crawl. But as a swimming stroke, it's called a freestyle. Hopefully schooling you all on the fact that you'll be able to just watch the Olympics this summer and you'll be able to be like, oh, I know what's going on now. Which let's all hope the Olympics happen because, man, that's good for swimming programs. You can see that, both teams, the guys are in the middle of what you do in swimming is you work up and you work up and you work on that endurance and you fight that endurance and you fight those times and those things all season long, and then you work up to the fact where you build into what's called a taper. And a taper in swimming is you kind of ease off. You do a lot of the same fast interval type of work, but you ease off in that. And you can see kind of the result of that some some of them shouldn't be fully tapered. They got a week till sections. So a week from Saturday is sections for Forest Lake. And you don't want to ease off too fast. You want to have your best races next Saturday for a lot of these swimmers. And so you can see that there's some of them that are looking a little tired on the deck tonight, which is to be expected. Kind of what you want as a coach. We got all 3 Woodbury guys here pretty close together. Sometimes when you're a distance swimmer, which the 200 freestyle is considered a distance swim, even though if you are actually swimming it, it is more of a sprint than you've ever could imagine. And so, but a lot of times distance swimmers train together, and so a lot of times their times are pretty similar, which is funny to watch. So lane 1 takes first place. Logan with a time of 2:11:35. Lane 3 takes second place. Colin with a time of 2:13:07. And in third place, lane 2, John from Woodbury with a time of 2:14:82. So next up is the varsity heat of the 200-yard freestyle, individual freestyle. And we've got swimmers in lanes 1 through 6.
Our next event, event 4, the boys 200-yard freestyle varsity.
Got to make sure that the backup timers are always good. This year's been a little tricky having backup timers or the other teammates typically, so in between it's always a little bit of a check to make sure that's there. All right, in the water we have in lane 1 for Woodbury, Noah, lane 2, Aiden, and in lane 3, Matt. For the Rangers in lane 4 we have Levi, lane 5, Brody McGovern, and in lane 6, Joe. So like I said a couple weeks ago, because it's been a couple weeks since we've had a home meet, and so I don't always announce all the last names just because I don't want to wreck them for you. And so, but if we've got some duplicate names, I'll try to make sure that you know that it's your child in the water that you're trying to watch. It's a good race with the Rangers out in lanes 4, 5, and 6, but in first, second, and third place right now. It's kind of an interesting little pyramid going on in the pool. And a lot of times when they swim every other, in a typical year, it's like lane 1 is Woodbury, lane 2 Rangers, lane 3 Woodbury, lane 4 Rangers, that kind of thing. And so you swim kind of next to someone from the other team that is more of your speed, but this year due to COVID, it's like, let's keep them as separate as possible. So we have the one team on one side of the pool, one team on the other side of the pool. They're not supposed to mingle. And, but this shows kind of that effect that those Rangers are really out in front there. But they're all fighting at each other right now, which is is a lot of fun to watch. So it's like, who's going to take this here? We've got Levi and Brody, and then Joe right there as well. It's always really interesting to see, in this race, it can be a full-on sprint the entire time. And so coming into the wall here, it's a real close finish. Whoa, nice finish there. We had lane 4, Levi, with a time of 1:58.90, but Brody right behind him in second place with a time of 1:59.14, and then right behind him, Joe, with a time of 2:48. So really close times there. Fourth place goes to lane 1 from Woodbury, Noah, with a time of 2:09.76. Fifth place goes to lane 2, Aiden, with a time of 2:09.81. And then sixth place goes to lane 3, Matt, with a time of 2:15.06. So some really close times from the two teams in their own little groups, in their own little pods, and so that's kind of fun to watch. Next event is the 200-yard individual medley junior varsity. We've got 2 swimmers in the water. Lane 3 is Woodbury, and lane 4 is the Rangers. So 2 younger guys probably duking it out a little bit here. So lane 3 for Woodbury is Andrew, and in lane 4 for the Rangers is Thatcher. And remember, the individual medley, JV and varsity, is different than the relay. It goes in a little bit different of an order. So you start with fly, you do a 50 of fly, then a 50 backstroke, and then a 50 breaststroke, and then you finish with a 50 of freestyle. So individual is a little bit different than the relay. And partly because as a backstroker, you're not going to start in the water when someone's swimming into the wall. So, it's probably the philosophy as to why the race is set up that way in the relay, but a little different when you are doing it as an individual. So Andrew from Woodbury is out in first place pretty easily here. But like we've talked about before in the breaststroke or in the IM, it can be anybody's race. It depends on which stroke is your strength. Are you a backstroker? Are you a breaststroker? Are you a butterflyer and get out there right away in the beginning, or do you all of a sudden, pick it up in the breaststroke or certain things? So something to kind of think about as you watch the individual medley. So we've got Andrew for Woodbury just coming in here on his last flip turn and then going to easily kind of land in that first place in this JV heat. But Thatcher's holding his own too, working really hard and pushing himself. My favorite is when you see the coaches and the other teammates just being like, kick those legs. And so it's so hard as a swimmer to just be like, it's the end of this race, but you got to keep all of those pieces going so to get yourself together. So Andrew from Woodbury takes first place in the JV heat of the 200-yard individual medley with a time of 2:23.74. And Thatcher is going to finish in second here with a time of 2:47.69. Our next event will be the varsity heat of the 200-yard IM, and we have swimmers in lanes 1 through 6. Swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, Daniel. Lane 2, Raymond. And lane 3, Andy. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4, Max. Lane 5, Sam. And in lane 6, Ryan. All right, coming into the wall, Max in first place there, but closely followed by Andy from Woodbury. And then you've got coming in, so it's anybody's race here for third place really right now, while the two in the middle, Max and Andy, seem to be duking it out a little bit for the first and second place. But Max is a breaststroker, so if you're paying attention to how sometimes you can pull yourself out into the front, Max True is definitely a top breaststroker. And that'll be one to watch when he goes to sections with a hope to bring him to the state meet this year. And boys get a state meet, so that's exciting. There'll be some, it's a little different. It'll be only watching it, no fans, those kinds of things, but it'll be fun to watch. Now we got a race here for second place between two of the Woodbury guys. Guy in lane 2, Raymond, comes out of a little far behind, but he must be a breaststroker as well. And who knows, maybe not. I might be wrong, but he is picking it up there. Max is going to easily take this win in first place here for the Rangers. And second and third place now is between Raymond and Andy from Woodbury. But then fourth and fifth and sixth place are all right in there too between the Woodbury and the Rangers. So Max takes first in lane 4 with a time of 2:04.51. Raymond's in there in second place with a time of 2:18.31 in lane 2. Lane 3, Andy from Woodbury finishes in third with a time of 2:23.63. Lane 1 from Woodbury finishes in fourth with a time of 2:28.49. Lane 5, Sam from the Rangers finishes fifth with a time of 2:30.57. And lane 6 for the Rangers, Ryan finishes sixth with a time of 2:34.11. If you're keeping score right now, the Rangers 17, Woodbury 13. Can tell the guys kind of poured everything into the pool with that race because they're not getting out very fast. Sometimes it's like you need to be invited out of the pool. So we're up to the varsity or the JV heat of the boys 50-yard freestyle. Fun thing to watch at the 50-yard freestyle is just that fast takeoff, that fast finish, and it can be done in the blink of an eye. So 50-yard freestyle just down and back. The ultimate sprint in high school swimming. So a full heat of JV. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Will. Lane 2, Philip. Lane 3, Sasha. And in lane 4 for the Rangers, Eric. 5, Gus. And lane 6, Robert. So 50-yard freestyle, always a really close race. Watching their times, trying to get better each week, and just even not touching out the race and the swimmer right next to you. Nice time from lane 1 from Woodbury with a time of 26:30. He takes first place. So Will from Woodbury, 26:30. Lane 2 takes second, Philip, with a time of 27:13. Not sure if that sixth place time is correct. So that might be a little bit off there. It should be. So he maybe didn't touch the touchpad, or there's something up with the touchpad a little bit. Lane 4 with a time of 29:49. Lane 5 with a time of 28:02. So we've got Eric from the Rangers with a time of 29:49, Gus from the Rangers with a time of 28:02, and Robert from the Rangers with a time of 28:07. They'll fix the clock up at the wall, or up on the stand where we've got the table people, and you can see that the officials are currently kind of conferring with one another to make sure. That's one of the things they watch, is they watch the order of finish to make sure that it coincides with the scoreboard, because swimming doesn't lie necessarily with the timing. That's one thing you can't do, but if the touchpad's a little off, or you don't touch the touchpad correctly, and it correctly means kind of coming into it, if you're kind of grab the wall, sometimes it can be off. There's also a kid that is pushing the button and taking a backup time, and so that can sometimes coincide as well. So there's all those different things, but they'll fix that up at the wall, at the table, and get the kid his correct time in lane 3, and the coach will have that at the end of the meet. So our next event up is the varsity heat of the 50-yard freestyle. All right, swimming in lane 1 is Andrew from Woodbury. Lane 2, Logan Munson, and in lane 3, Logan Anderson from Woodbury. Lane 4 for the Rangers, we have Brady. Lane 5, we have Riley, and in lane 6, we have Bo. These are all neck and neck, really close together. Lots of white water cooking up from their arms and their legs. Ooh, nice, super close finish there between lanes 3 and 4. Lane 4, Brady Jaros takes first with a time of 24:19. Lane 2, Logan Anderson from Woodbury with a time of 24:29. Lane 3, lane 6 over on the outside is in third place with a time of 25:04. Then fourth place goes to lane 5 with a time of 25:08. Lane 2 takes fifth place with a time of 25:64, and lane 1 takes sixth place with a time of 26:49. So all really close times together. Some nice, really, really nice swims there. All right, we are to the diving break, and so it'll probably be about a 15-minute break, 10 minutes in the water, 5 minutes on the deck before we get back to swimming again. So, go to the bathroom, make some popcorn, stick with us till the rest of the meet goes on. And if you are a Forest Lake Ranger and you know of a girl that is in 7th through 12th grade that is interested in getting into the water, Forest Lake Schools does have a synchronized swimming team that will start up the Monday, March 15th after our spring break this week. And so if you're interested in that, the coach is Laura Davison. She is an art teacher at the high school, and so you can certainly contact her. But any Forest Lake Ranger that is 7th grade through 12th grade, we do have a girls synchronized swimming team that is in the water next in this season. So this pool is always used year-round for all these different things. And so if you know of somebody, or you know somebody that's maybe interested in it, that is a fun thing to get into as well. A little different, but still using swimming, skills and a little bit more of that artistry. And so girls 7-12 can join that. So we will be back in roughly about 15 minutes, and we will continue the second half of the meet. Thanks again for joining us tonight here in Forest Lake, and we'll see you in a bit.
fast it is. He's got things. Yeah.
Welcome back to the second half of tonight's boys swim meet, home swim meet against Forest Lake against Woodbury. It's our last dual meet of the season here in Forest Lake. And we've got the first event up after the break is the boys 100-yard butterfly junior varsity. And we have swimmers from Woodbury in lanes 1, 2, and 3. So swimming in lane 1 is Torin, lane 2, James, and lane 3, Steven. Now, also as promised, the results of the diving that took place earlier tonight at Woodbury. First place goes to Liam from Woodbury with a score of 186.60. Second place goes to Ben of Woodbury with a score of 156.00. Third place goes to Jameson Livermore from Forest Lake with a score of 151.15. Fourth place goes to Deacon Andre from Forest Lake with a score, 140.40. And fifth place goes to Jason Tran of Woodbury with a score of 94.85. So our overall team score currently is Forest Lake 40, Woodbury 38. So real close meet tonight. So a lot of swimming left to go. And the relays bring up some major points, and there's still two relay events in the second half. So Woodbury again in lanes 1, 2, and 3. Rangers in lanes 4, 5, and 6. And Steven from Woodbury takes first in the JV heat of the butterfly with a time of 1:08.94. Second place goes to James from Woodbury with a time of 1:19.72. And third place to Torin with a score or a time of 1:21.04. So once again, welcome tonight back to the Woodbury Forest Lake swim meet. The Rangers in their last dual meet of the season. Our next event will be the Varsity 100-yard butterfly and swimming. So we have swimmers in lanes 1 through 6. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, Ethan. Lane 2, Isaac. Lane 3, Alex. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4, Levi. Lane 5, Logan. And lane 6, Riley Jankowski. So tonight, watching these, Woodbury, and then also Levi's right in there, but Levi and Logan and Riley are all real close neck and neck from Forest Lake in the fly. So some good races to watch tonight, especially some of the young guys, because they're going to be kind of fully tapered. You occasionally see a different swimsuit, too. It's not as easy to tell that in boys swimming as it is in girls, because girls, it's like a one-piece like leg suit. You're like, what the heck's going on? What is that? But it's called a tech suit. You'll see a few of them on the boys tonight that are trying to, it's a suit made for their best time. All right, coming in first for Woodbury, lane 3, Logan. Oh, I cannot even read tonight. That is Alex for Woodbury with a time of 56:02. Then in second place, we have Isaac with a time of 56:74. Third place goes to Levi from the Rangers with a time of 59:13. Fourth place goes to Ethan from Woodbury with a time of 104:46. Fifth place goes to Logan from the Rangers with a time of 104:94. And sixth place goes to Riley Jankowski with a time of 108:19. So our next event up will be the 100-yard freestyle junior varsity. There are swimmers in lanes 1 through 4.
Event 13 is up next.
And so remember the 100-yard varsity or junior varsity 100 freestyle is freestyle 4 lengths of the pool. All right, so we've got in the water in lane 1 for Woodbury Nahome, lane 2 Ben, and lane 3 Andy. In lane 4 for the Rangers, we have Gus. Freestyle is one of the, it's not an easy stroke by any means, but a lot of people find it to be the one that's the most common of swimming. But these sprints, you really got to use every piece of you. So it's like you got to have good hand placement. You got to have good arms, stretching your arm out. You got to have a good kick, strong kick. And you just got to put that head down and swim and do your very best with these sprints just to get, good starts, good turns. Everything's got to be clean. And this point in the season, they're really trying for all of that. So lane 3, Andy from Woodbury takes first with a time of 1:02:29. Second place goes to Gus from the Rangers with a time of 1:03:29. Third place goes to Ben from Woodbury, 1:05:81. And rounding it out in fourth place is Nahome from Woodbury with a time of 1:09:72. Our next event up will be the boys 100-yard freestyle varsity. So watching some real fast swimming here, more likely. It's, when it's the last dual meet of the season, you're trying to prove a few things is what you're trying to do. Even though you might be tired, even though it might have been a rough week, long week at school, whatever it might be, you're trying to really do your best. All right, swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Aiden. Lane 2, Joseph. Lane 3, Ian. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4, we have Brady Jaros. In lane 5, Bo Brady. And in lane 6, Riley Sido. So this is anybody's race as you're watching it. I always like to say, don't clip your fingernails before a sprint because it could come down to that in the end. Which, maybe not. All right, our Woodbury and the Rangers are right neck and neck there. Ian for Woodbury and Brady for the Rangers. But then in, duking it out still is like really close behind are Bo and then Joe for Woodbury as well. All right, coming in first is Ian for Woodbury with a time of 52:31. Brady Jaros coming in second with a time of 53:38. Third place goes to Ian, Joe from Woodbury with a time of 53:90. Fourth place goes to Bo from the Rangers with a time of 55:51. Fifth place goes to Riley Sido from the Rangers with a time of 57:50. And in sixth place, we have Aiden from Woodbury with a time of 58:64. If you notice, the team scores have flipped just a little bit, but this is still a really close meet. Back and forth a little bit, and we'll see how it goes with the 500 next, but then the 200 freestyle relay will hold some big points. So Rangers currently 44, Woodbury 50. So our next event is the 500-yard freestyle varsity. So there's only one heat of the varsity, no JV heat of the 500 freestyle tonight. Too bad I can't quiz you and ask you how many lengths of the pool is a 500. Maybe quiz each other at home tonight. Say, how many lengths do they have to do? Is that 15? Is that 25? Is that 20? 500 yards in a 25-yard pool. All right. So we've got full heat here in lane 1 for Woodbury, Jacob, lane 2, Derek, lane 3, Gunner. For the Rangers in lane 4, Brody, lane 5, Joe, and then lane 6, Brady. And so 500 yards is 20 lengths of the pool. So if you were trying to quiz yourself or trying to figure that out, doing that. Now, counting that is not the most fun as a swimmer because you just get in your head. I know a lot of swimmers that sing during the 500 or count, like it's just odd stuff. So you do get a counter on the end of the pool. And so that's what you'll see at the end of the pool is another teammate gets to do the counting for them. And they can also share a few signs sometimes. They can share, the idea of, are you close to the guy next to you? Close, do you need to speed up? And up and down can sometimes mean things, side to side. So you'll see a few cues that they can give each other with that as well. And if you watch the clock during the 500, sometimes you find a swimmer that is really evenly paced, and they're kind of trying to keep that up, like they're doing 29s, they're doing 30s, and they're just kind of, doing that all the time. Or there's times where you've got the swimmer that fluctuates between, okay, I went a 30, and then I'm going a 32, and then, I'm kind of all over the place, but that's just kind of the way they race. Now, as a coach, a lot of times you try to get them to be a consistent kind of racing, with the beginning ones faster and the end, try to get them back to faster, but it just kind of sometimes depends on the kid as well. So in first right now from Woodbury is Gunner, out there pretty significantly in first, but 500 is always an interesting one because it can be kind of tricky whether the swimmer has taken it out too fast, but it is one that you kind of want to keep an eye on because you don't want to get too far behind. So we've got two swimmers for the Rangers, Brody and Joe, that are really close together here. Neck and neck, flipping on the wall every time, and Woodbury's kind of got the same thing going on in lanes 1 and 2. Pretty close together, guys. That's a nice flip turn for lane 1. And so, that kind of back and forth. Now, Gunner in lane 3 might be out in front, but he's got to swim his own race, too, to really get himself, a competitive time. And so he's got to think about that, too, and not just the fact that I'm like, oh, I'm out here, I'm just coasting, because he's not necessarily.
Come on, Derek. Catch him, Derek.
The 500 always gives a coach and teammates a chance to cheer a little bit more, too, and like really trying to get it going. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you ask a swimmer, a lot of times they'll be like, nah, I couldn't hear you. So the score has flipped and been updated since the last race with Rangers 51, Woodbury 59. As we're watching the race here, like I said, the Rangers have their section meet next Saturday night. So a week from Saturday, they will have their section meet. This year, sections are different with the fact that they are definitely just one and done in swimming, which is different. And then the state meet is actually the following Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And the boys are going to be lucky enough to be able to have a state meet. Unlike the girls' season ended with sections, just because nobody was really clear on COVID ideas and things that were happening at that point, and everybody was just happy to make it to a section meet. Here, they're making it to a section meet and then happy to make it to a state meet as well. All right, we've got some good swimming going on here with the Rangers really trying to duke that out between the two of them and just being like, who's going back and forth here. Is it going to be Brody? Is it going to be Joe? Is it Joe? Is it Brody? Is it Joe? Is it Brody? Kind of back and forth there. And so, Woodbury, Gunner from Woodbury is taking first place with a time of 4:56.13. So nice time there. Second place there goes to Brody from the Rangers with a time of 5:22.37. And then you see Joe from the Rangers just getting in there too in third place with a time of 5:25.02. So they were really close all along as well. The same as Derek in lane 2, fourth place with a time of 5:32.06. And Jacob from Woodbury in lane 1, fifth place with a time of 5:41.15. Really all kind of close, kind of together. I mean, Gunner was definitely out there in front from Woodbury, but the Rangers and the other, swimmers from Woodbury all were kind of neck and neck with each other, which is kind of fun to watch. And then we got Brady from the Rangers finishing in sixth place with a time of 6:06.46. All right, so that is our 500-yard freestyle varsity. Our next event up will be the junior varsity boys 200-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer swims a 50. So 4 swimmers each. Each swimmer swims a 50. It's kind of interesting this year with all the rules and differences and things like that, too, is the fact that, you can't have as many kids on the deck. And so it's like the transitions take slightly longer. Not really. The guys have gotten it down to a science by now. But it's a little bit different transitioning between events. But there's more cheering going on at this meet than there has been, which is really kind of fun to take part in.
Our next event at 17 is the boys 200-yard freestyle relay junior varsity.
So once again, this is the 200-yard freestyle relay junior varsity. And we have swim relay teams in lanes 1 through 4. Swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Aarons, Colin, Carter, and Max. Lane 2, we have Brandon, Daniel, Noah, and Steven. Lane 3 for Woodbury, Will, Philip, Ben, and Matt. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4, we have Robert, Eric, Thatcher, and Gus. The thing that makes a difference in these relays is really good, strong starts, really clean flip turns, and really good finishes. And remember that officials are here and watch those starts, because if you got to be spot on. You can't be early. Sure, you can be late, but that doesn't do you a very good job with wasting some time there. But you don't want to be early, because then they can disqualify you. So watching the relay exchanges are always kind of fun to see. Okay, was that a good one? Was that not? Was it close? Was it not? And that's one of the things towards the end of the season that you're really working on as a team going into the section meet. So we've got Woodbury in lane 3 out in front. with second place kind of up for grabs between any of the other races here. All right, Woodbury finishing into the wall there. The relay team of Will, Philip, Ben, and Matt coming in with a time of 1:48.50. Second place goes to the relay team of Brandon, Daniel, Noah, and Stephen from Woodbury with a time of 1:53.69. Third place goes to the relay team from the Rangers of Robert, Eric, Thatcher, and Gus with a time of 1:57.32. And fourth place goes to lane 1 with a time of 2:09.14, the relay team of Aarons, Colin, Carter, and Max. I'm messing up all over the place tonight. Times, names, all that good stuff. Must be that I am tired. But that's not an excuse. I will wake up here and do a little bit better with the names.
Our next event, event 18, is the boys 200-yard.
All right, our next event is the 200-yard freestyle relay varsity. So once again, they've updated the score for the teams. Forest Lake 58, Woodbury 68. So really close in time. So this relay is really going to be a telling as to who gets these relay points. So we've got relay teams in lanes 1 through 5. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, Aiden, Luke, Ethan, and Sasha. Lane 2 for Woodbury, Joe, Andrew, Alex, and Logan. For Woodbury in lane 3, Isaac, Logan, Ian, and Gunner. Lane 4 for the Rangers, Brady Jaros, Riley Sido, Brody McGovern, and Bo Brady. And then Rangers in lane 5, Sam, Ryan, Joe, and Brady Thompson. So that relay team for the Rangers really wants to kind of kick that into gear and see, hopefully hold off this other kid over in lane 2 and take second place. They don't want to give up first and second right now. All right, some good clean exchanges, good starts there. So the Woodbury relay team in lane 3 is definitely in first place. Pretty strong here. But we want to watch these, second place. Oh, they're right off the blocks together. That is so close. I want to really bring that and try to not let Woodbury get first and second place. And you can see that the guys are fighting as hard as they can right now. So finishing here into the wall, Woodbury's relay team in lane 3 is going to take first. Second place does go to lane 2, Woodbury, and then third goes to Rangers in lane 3. So first place from Woodbury, the relay team of Isaac, Logan, Ian, and Gunner take first with a time of 1:35.11. Second place goes to the lane 2, Woodbury's team of Joe, Andrew, Alex, and Logan with a time of 1:39.23. The Rangers take third in lane 4 with Brady, Riley, Brody, and Bo with a time of 1:40.57. So close there in that third place, but good taking in third place. That'll give them some points as well. And then fourth place, the relay team of Aiden, Luke, Ethan, and Sasha from Woodbury with a time of 1:45.34. And then fifth place, the relay team of Sam, Ryan, Joe, and Brady from the Rangers with a time of 1:47.95. So our next event up is the 100-yard backstroke junior varsity. So 4 lengths of the pool, backstroke. You see that backstroke start is different. You want to watch that arch in the backstroke start and that streamlined position. Things to really work on and clean up in a backstroke start. So we have swimmers in lanes 1 through 4, and so swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, James, lane 2, Brandon, lane 3, Logan, and then for the Rangers in lane 4, we have Robert. And Robert is out in front right now. In the backstroke, you got to watch like all kinds of little nitpicky things, and the fact that it's like you can only do one stroke into the wall. You got to flip over at a certain point. You got to come up underwater at some things. So there's all some really small little things that you got to be careful of when you're doing it. And by this time in the season, it's really just should be a habit by now. All of those small little things. So we've got Robert out there in first place, easily coming in first for the Rangers in the JV heat of the 100-yard backstroke. So Robert in lane 4 for the Rangers comes in first with a time of 1:07.69. So then second place goes to Logan from Woodbury with a time of 1:15.50. Third place goes to James in lane 1 with a time of 1:17.92. And fourth place goes to Brandon from Woodbury with a time of 1:19.16. So some really close times and good times for the kids there. So our next event up is the 100-yard backstroke varsity. There are swimmers in lanes 1 through 6. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1 is Colin, lane 2 Raymond, lane 3 Carter. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4 we have Riley Jankowski, lane 5 Logan, and lane 6 Sam. So the score, if you look at the scoreboard, is 60, Rangers 60, Woodbury 80. Riley is out in first for the Rangers right now. Really leaning into that backstroke, really trying to go. Nice strong kick. Really pushing himself there. He's got to hold off this lane 2, which he cannot see at all, which is a little tricky there, but he's going to be able to do it here. And so it's kind of tricky because lanes 5 and 6 we're not able to see that kid in lane 2 either, which is hard sometimes. So lane 4, Riley Jankowski from the Rangers takes first with a time of 1:02.68. In second, it goes to Raymond from Woodbury with a time of 1:04.59. Third place goes to lane 6, Sam from the Rangers with a time of 1:07.87. Fourth place goes to Logan from the Rangers with a time of 1:08.62. Fifth place goes to Carter from Woodbury with a time of 1:10.26, and then sixth place goes to Colin from Woodbury with a time of 1:12.15. Our next event up is the boys 100-yard breaststroke, junior varsity, and we have a full heat of JV here. Lanes 1 through 6, all full. So swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Ben. Lane 2, Will. Lane 3, Phillip. Swimming for the Rangers in lane 4, we have Thatcher. Lane 5, Eric. And lane 6, Deacon. And what's fun to know about Deacon is a diver for the Forest Lake Rangers. So he's also in the pool, multi-sport athletes. the breaststroke, like we've talked about in the past, is the fact that it is kind of like you learn it in swimming lessons as that frog kick, but in Minnesota State High School League swimming, you really got to perfect that whip kick, is what you can call it, and then also you got to get your timing correct and the strength of your legs and your arms and your breathing and all of that, and so it all goes together, and it's really kind of fun right now to watch these four right here in the middle all really close together. Could be anyone's race here. Anybody's race here at the end. That's a really close finish. So first place goes to lane 2 from Woodbury. Raymond, or not Raymond, let's see, Philip. No, we'll get it right here. Will from Woodbury with a time of 1:22.22. Second place goes to Philip from Woodbury with a time of 1:22.62. Third place goes to Thatcher from the Rangers with a time of 1:22.69. So look at that, how they're all super close together there. It was a fun race to watch. Fourth place goes to lane 5. Eric from the Rangers with a time of 1:25.41. Fifth place goes to Ben from Woodbury in lane 1 with a time of 1:27.69. And then Deacon takes sixth place with a time of 1:36.83. So our next event up is the boys 100-yard breaststroke varsity. So lane 1, Adrian. Lane 2, Matt. And lane 3, Luke from Woodbury. Lane 4, we have Max from the Rangers, Ryan in lane 5, and Brady Thompson in lane 6. And like I was saying earlier, this is Max's race. And so it is, fun to watch, and one that we hope we will be watching Max swim at the state level in a couple weeks. So just sit back and enjoy and just watch that timing and that strength and that power. And then we got some racing going on for second place here. But Max is really going to take that first place finish really easily there. So lane 4, Max True, senior Max True, in his last breaststroke race in the Forest Lake Pool here with a time of 1:35. Second place, awesome job here, goes to Ryan Eddy from Forest Lake with a time of 1:11.71. Third place goes to lane 3, Luke, with a time of 1:15.05. Fourth place goes to lane 1, Adrian, with a time of 1:16.99 from Woodbury. Fifth place goes to lane 6, Brady Thompson from the Rangers with a time of 1:17.12. And sixth place goes to Matt with a time of 1:18.81. So it was a fun race to watch from Max. Max's record on the record board for the breaststroke is from 2019 with a time of 57:19. Something that I'm guessing he's shooting to try to break as he's fully tapered in the next couple weeks. So the score currently is the Rangers 82, Woodbury 90.
Our next event, event 23, was 400.
All right, we've got 2 events left tonight. The JV heat of the boys 400 freestyle relay. And we have Woodbury teams in lanes 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll have the varsity heat after that. All right, swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Aaron's, Max, Nathaniel, and Brandon. Swimming for Woodbury in lane 2, we have Torrin, Stephen, James, and John. And swimming for Woodbury in lane 3, we have Adrian, Andy, Carter, and Sasha. We are very happy, though, that you could join us tonight and be able to watch from afar. Sure is different being in a pool without a cheering squad going on, but the boys have been doing a good job tonight being able to cheer on their own teams, and you can kind of hear that kind of noise in the background. It's definitely not quiet on a pool deck, but it's definitely not as loud as it sometimes and usually is, especially during the 400 freestyle relay. I always want to tell people, if you don't think a swim meet is fun, you need to watch the relay races, or when races are really close, or really just any time, to be honest, but because I find them to be fun. But when you watch and it's just like this ear like piercing cheering, you can't hear anything but this dull roar going on because the race is so close. That is when a swim meet can be really kind of fun. And the adrenaline pumping and all of those different things. So we are just happy in Forest Lake to be able to showcase the swim meets, have the kids in the pool, have the kids swimming. If you're a Forest Lake Ranger and know of anyone that's going into 7th grade, 7th or 8th grade, or anywhere 7 to 12 that are interested in getting into some type of swimming program or swimming, check out the Ranger Aquatics program with Forest Lake Community Ed. And get your kid, even younger. You've got anybody that is, with the Ranger Aquatics program is elementary school kids on up. But get them in the water and get them, these are some of the best kids that you will ever see on a sports team, are the kids in the pool. I might be a little biased, but they are just all around nice guys and all around nice girls on the girls team. And like I was saying earlier, if you've got a Forest Lake Ranger that is a 7th through 12th grade girl that is interested in getting into the pool or aquatics, we do have a synchronized swimming team that starts their practices on March 15th. They're really excited because their season was cut last year during the initial pandemic. They were like a week into the season about right now when things hit. And so they're really excited to be back in the pool. They start up March 15th. Anyone 7th through 12th grade is eligible to swim. Any girls 7th through 12th grade is eligible to swim. And so, you can contact Jody Berg at the high school and get signed up and registered in the activities office, or Coach Laura Davison, who's an art teacher at the high school as well, and join that team. But if you're watching and you've got some younger swimmers that, swim team sounds like fun, looks like fun, it is fun. It's a lot of fun to be in the pool and racing. And so consider, Community Ed Ranger Aquatic program in the summertime. It runs during the school year as well. But then starting in the summer, Ranger Aquatic swimming, or, our diving clinics too that the Community Ed hosts as well. All right, we've got the Woodbury teams really going to see who's going to take first here. Third, lane 3 of the relay team of Adrian, Andy, Carter, and Sasha took first with a time of 4:11:20. But second place goes to the Woodbury team of Torrin, Stephen, James, and John with a really close time there, 4:11:70. Those tenths of a second are not much in swimming at all. And so sometimes that is so close and so frustrating for some kids, but it is what it is in swimming. Timing doesn't lie. And so it can be that flip turn, it can be that streamline off the wall, it can be, that finish, those fingertips, where were they at the very end? It can be that one kid decided to take a breath over the other kid. There's all just those things. So we've got one last lap here. 50 yards of Woodbury's relay team of Aaron's, Max, Nathaniel, and Brandon. Finishing strong here. Sorry, we've got some Woodbury guys standing probably kind of in the exact wrong spot on the deck to be able to see that guy in lane 1, finishing strong here, with the camera angle there. And so, all right, lane 1 finishes with a time of 5:39.49. So our last event tonight is the boys 400-yard freestyle relay varsity. Everyone swims a 100. So 100 4 lengths of the pool for each swimmer in the 400 relay. So thanks for sticking with us tonight and watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying the meet. It's the last dual meet of the season. So we have relay teams in lanes 1 through 5. Swimming for Woodbury in lane 1, we have Matt, Raymond, Derek, and Philip. Woodbury in lane 2, we have Logan, Luke, Joe, and Alex. Lane 3, for Woodbury, we have Ian, Isaac, Gunnar, and Logan. For the Rangers in lane 4, we have Brody, Brady Jaros, Levi, and Max. And for the Rangers in lane 5, we have Logan, Bo Brady, Joe, and Riley Jankowski. And once again here, it looks like we are going to watch this kind of back and forth relay going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this team score is 82 Rangers, Woodbury 90. So we've got guys on for both teams really cheering each other on. So really something to kind of think about. To watch here, and that's kind of fun. You're hearing more cheering in the background, and that is one thing that is really fun to see and hear, because pool decks are not meant to be quiet. All right, we've got Woodbury out in front, but those Forsyth Rangers are really trying to keep that off and maybe try to take that first place here. But then it would really help if lane 4 over there, or 5 over there, would actually sneak in third place. If we can take second and third, those will be some good points for the guys. So we've currently, in lane 4 for the Rangers, we've got Levi in the water, and in lane 5, we've got Joe in the water, and we want to hold off those other Woodbury swimmers. Some pretty fast splits being put up on the wall for some of these guys here. I think that's the first time all season I've heard Ranger relay going on. Really trying to get the guys motivated to take first or take second and third here. We'll see if they can pull it off. This is where you need that cheering squad. So if you are at home, be cheering. Really get those guys going. They can hear you. They can feel that cheering and that spirit that is going on right now at home, cheering on those kids. So currently in lane 4 for the Rangers, we've got Max in the water, trying to maybe get close to that first place Woodbury Logan in the water. But then in lane 5, we've got Riley Jankowski. If he can just really pour on the gas there and try to get close, that would be strong. But this Woodbury guy, Alex, over here in lane 2 is got a good body length and a half on him. So very close second place finish there from the Rangers, though, from holding that strong. So lane 3 from Woodbury, the team of Ian, Isaac, Gunner, and Logan takes first with a time of 3:31.31. Second place goes to the Rangers, lane 4, Brody, Brady, Levi, and Max with a time of 3:34.08. Third place goes to the Woodbury relay team of Logan, Luke, Joseph, and Alex with a time of 3:42.46. Fourth place goes to the Ranger relay team of Logan, Bo, Joe, and Riley with a time of 3:48.68. And fifth place goes to the Woodbury team of Matt, Raymond, Derek, and Philip with a time of 4:03.21. That is going to end the swim meet. We'll watch here for the final score and the final last cheer. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight, cheering on your swimmer if you're from Woodbury, if you're from Forest Lake, and just really cheering these guys on. This was a good meet to watch, good last dual meet, and you can see that the final score tonight is Rangers 86, Woodbury 100. So really close meet going on tonight, and it's just kind of fun to watch. And we, once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting these guys and the programs. And we really appreciate Lakes Area Television here in Forest Lake that has been supporting both our girls and our boys swim meets this season. And so really nice finish to the season in the dual meet season. And so the Rangers will be at their section meet a week from Saturday, and then the state meet is the week right after that, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so hopefully we'll see how it goes. Kind of different when it's sections are like 4 teams in the morning, 4 teams in the afternoon or evening, and then the state meet is actually split up too. So, all these COVID things, throwing wrenches into a few things, but really trying to keep it going.